Hi everyone, welcome to sketching, and we're on day 21 of my sketching challenge. I hope you're enjoying this holiday period, especially if you're on holiday, and if you're not, well, I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to be sketching a nice chocolate chip muffin that me, my wife and the kids had at one of the supermarket cafes. So again, I'm just kind of blocking out the colours. As I've been doing in my previous videos, and today I'm using an acrylic brush to do this and kind of blend in these shades of orange, yellow and browns that I can see kind of like, on the muffin itself. The light source is coming in from the right hand side and slightly from the top, so you've got a nice kind of a variation of colour going on in this on this object, on this muffin. So all I'm doing now is just adding in some kind of rough strokes with the ink brush, the Gensinki ink brush from the artistic palette range in Procreate, to kind of create that texture that's kind of like, in that batter mixture of this muffin, and it works really nice. I mean, I hope you're trying this challenge. I really hope you are, because to be honest with you, it's really helping me. I mean, I wanted to try this out as a kind of like a tester to see, if it would really help me, and it really has. I'm drawing every day. I'm not just drawing digital, but I'm drawing digital and using traditional materials, and in both sides it's kind of helping me because I'm constantly looking at something, drawing it, using different materials, trying different techniques, and it really does kind of build that library of kind of texture, images, colour in your mind. And then when you start kind of like approach a new object to draw, it becomes like a kind of an automatic response where you literally just start doing things without having to think about them too much. And that's kind of really what this challenge is all about, to kind of train yourself to a point where you're just ready to draw. So what I'm doing now is I've just added in the nice lovely chocolate bite pieces on the muffin, and I did this with the oil brush from the artistic palette again, and all I'm doing is zooming in and adding in some kind of texture where kind of like, the bits of chocolate are just like scattered across the muffin, the batter of the muffin. And you can see, like on an image like this, wherever you've got colour, you've got like another expansion of colour. So like around the chocolate you've got a darker brown coming into an orange, and then all of a sudden you've got a sharp contrasting yellowish light colour, and that all adds to this kind of overall image itself, and I think it looks really good. I think it's a good image to draw, so do give this one a go. I've got quite a nice image. I've took quite a nice image today of this, so again, I'm going to have this available in 2018 on my website, or I might even do a video where I'll just kind of post on this channel, where I'll just have all the links to the images on that particular video once this challenge is complete, and then you can just literally click on it and download it. So I think that'd really be helpful for a lot of you to kind of like, just practice on something, so you don't have to go out and take your own images. So all I did here was, I added all the texture, and then I'm just drawing in the kind of the cupcake the material thing, the little case that's on the bottom. It's quite dark, so you can't really see much on it, but there is a lot of kind of change in gradients going on, even though it's a dark colour. So I just did this with the standard 6B pencil that I had, and a nice sharp dark brown colour, just to come up with a rough sketch, because I wasn't really too bothered about the getting the detail right on it, again because it's the sketch challenge. I was just more interested in just getting them basic shapes down, to kind of like complete the composition of this piece. I mean, this one actually took me, I think it took me near enough an hour to complete this one. I was talking to my kids, I was like speaking to my wife while I was doing this, so I wasn't like concentrating 100% on it. It was more like in and out and in and out, but it doesn't matter, because in the end of the day, the whole challenge is about just sketching. And if you're a busy person like myself, and you've got a lot to do, and you're moving around, then it just makes it so much easier to like have a digital kind of device like the iPad Pro, and you can constantly keep drawing wherever you are, whether you're sat on the couch, whether you're sat at your desk, or even lying down on the floor. It just makes life so much easier, and it makes it kind of more approachable, where you don't have to set anything up, and you don't have to take your colours out and be worried about spilling your ink here or your paints here or your kids jumping on your piece of paper. It's just brilliant, I think. So yeah, so all I'm doing now is just adding in the a couple of I wouldn't say these are highlights, I would say this is more texture mapping on the actual image itself using a white, and I'm just doing this with the same brush that I had before, and with the kind of like, it's not cross-hatching, it's more kind of like a stippling dot effect to kind of really bring out the texture in this muffin, because there's a lot of texture here. It's not just, and it's not uniform, the texture. It's kind of, you know, you get all these odd sods and bumps and grinds all over the actual surface of the muffin, and it's just so easy to bring those textures out by kind of differing your strokes and differing kind of the techniques that you're doing, because if you kind of do the same thing again and again, it becomes quite flat, and it's quite hard to kind of like, you know, give that impression of like, you know, a differing surface texture. So that's what I was trying to achieve over here, just like adding different strokes. I went in with the white, and then I went in with the dark brown, using just like, you know, small little curved lines to kind of really bring that out. And all I'm doing now here is I'm just adding in with the airbrush some darks where the kind of shadow area is, and really to kind of bring out that case, kind of like, you know, the contours and the shapes on that casing. And now I've just kind of transferred over to the actual muffin itself, and I'm just slowly adding in the darks. Obviously you don't want to overdo things, because then it just becomes muddy, and all I'm doing now here is I'm just adding my regular with the airbrush drop shadow on the table, and then lowering the opacity to give it a nice uniform smooth finish, and then finally all I'm doing at the end is just with the airbrush again, just adding in some kind of highlights, and also adding in some darks on the actual chocolate pieces themselves to kind of really bring them out and make them pop. I'm using the oil brush for this one actually, so I'm kind of like blending in the dark with the lighter colours, and now I'm just going back onto the casing. So again, because I was going in and out of this drawing, so I'm kind of like moving from one thing to the other, quite random, but I'm just trying to get the kind of image done. And now finally all I'm doing is adding the highlights in with the ink set, and I think the brush that I used here was the fine tip brush, or it might have even been the studio brush, one of them, just to kind of add the highlights onto the chocolate pieces, really to make those edges quite sharp. And now all I'm doing is just adding the airbrush again with white colour to, like, you know, lighten up some of the areas where there's light shining on. And I've just started basically doing some cross-hatching on the darker areas to really kind of, you know, bring them out and kind of differ that texture. But yeah, I was quite happy with this drawing. I mean, I think the overall effect was quite good. So I would give this a try. I mean, like I said, this challenge is so easy because I'm just drawing my day-to-day things that I kind of see or that I'm eating. So I hope you really, you know, try this out for yourself. So thanks so much for your time. Please give the video a thumbs up, and please also consider subscribing to the channel for more content. And thanks so much for your support. I hope you're having a great time, great holiday off, or a great day, and I shall hopefully see you on the next one. So take care of yourself, keep sketching, and peace.